welcome to ACCO On Air at EcoBuild 2017. I'm here with Peter Welder, the Director of Welder Associates. Hi Peter, thanks for joining us today.
Nice to be here.
So you spoke about sponge cities and water-sensitive urban design this morning. Is the concept of a sponge city a realistic solution for the urban water problems in the UK?
It's a great question. One of the key things in China is they have the area I was working in had very porous soils, so they've got the opportunity to discharge water into the ground. Many of the places we have in the UK, they don't have porous soils, like London Clay, for example, where there isn't as much opportunity to discharge water into the ground. But equally, there's an opportunity to deal with water on the surface in those locations. So we can still deal with surface water management, rainwater management and flood control on the surface. So many of the principles that we've used are still sort of applicable here in the UK.
And do we understand the importance of terrain and hydrology in good urban design in the UK?
I think we're starting to get a good appreciation of terrain. I teach at University of Greenwich in London, and one of the first principles I introduce to students there is how important terrain and hydrology is in the master plan. So you're starting from a point of view of where's the water running off and how do you deal with the catchment. And I think that in the UK we are looking at, for larger developments certainly, looking at ways to look at the topography, look at the terrain, look at the infrastructure and how that has an effect on how surface water is managed. And a lot of people now are looking at more how the landscape can deal with water rather than just the grey infrastructure.
And in your opinion, what's important about looking at a more systems-based approach to water management?
Yeah, I think I've been working with ACCO over the years, looking at how ACCO has kind of changed its focus from being a drainage design company, manufacturing drainage systems that get water away as quickly as possible, to starting to develop systems that keep the water on the surface. And how, for example, the green infrastructure is just as important to the whole picture of drainage as the grey infrastructure is. And ACCO have been very forward-looking in that sense. They still have a very big range, probably the biggest range of drainage products in the world. But they're starting to move into systems that look at introducing water into swales. How do we take water from roads into a green network that helps with biofiltration? So I think that's moving more in a systems-based approach. It isn't just about the road or about the drainage network, it's about the green infrastructure as well. And I think ACCO, like many other companies, has got a big role to play in that, in helping designers to understand, and actually collaborating with designers on a wider systems-based approach to water management.
Okay, so a systems-based approach is really the way forward.
I think so. I think it's a more intuitive way of developing things. I mean, traditionally it's been, there's your building, and there's your landscape, and there's your road, and there's your drainage. And I think that's all coming together. Diverting rain pipes into the landscape, or diverting rain pipes into water attenuation systems, rather than just simply connecting them into our sewer networks. And I think that's where the systems-based approach really works. It's how much can we do with our water management strategy before it gets into our sewer networks, which are, as we know, already overcharged. They're already kind of obsolete in terms of their capacity. They're completely inundated during storm events. So we've got to do as much as we can to take the pressure off those systems. And an integrated system, between the building, the landscape, and the parklands and green infrastructure, is a great way of approaching those problems.
Okay, that's great. Thank you for talking with us today.
No, welcome.